welcome. This is your daily tarot card reading. It's it's a reading for June, okay? And it's a collective reading, and I'm going to do Twin Flame, but it could be any intense connection really in your life, and it could be also really concerning somebody who's quite emotionally unavailable. Not all my readings are always gonna resonate, so I just want to say that as well, because sometimes people sort of, might not resonate with every single reading I do, and I know what it's like, because you might resonate with quite a lot of them, and then there's the occasional one you might not, and so that may be that reading particularly wasn't for you. We are a collective on the channel, and generally the readings are for all of us, and we're multi-dimensional beings, and our timelines can fluctuate, and 1 minute it can be like, oh, we're going this way, and then sometimes timelines shift because people's energy is shifting constantly, and then we move into a different timeline. So that's why, sometimes the readings can take a bit of a turn, but also sometimes they're just not for you for whatever reason. I'm picking up on an energy for certain people who watch the channel and maybe not others. I know sometimes the readings are definitely for me, and sometimes I know they're not quite for me, they might be for somebody else. So let's go into a twin flame. Like I said, emotionally unavailable person, somebody you've got a very intense connection with, or the actual twin flame in your life. Let's go into a romance card first, and I want to say I'm sending you lots of love and peace wherever you are on Gaia. It is a new moon while I'm filming this, and it has been quite an intense energy I feel for this new moon. I think there might be others of you picking up on that. New moons generally mean a new timeline, don't they? So they're quite refreshing, but they can be quite testing, because even going into a new timeline can be quite a dynamic shift, because you might be making some quite big alterations, or you might be having to adjust to some quite big changes. So they can still be sometimes quite triggering, like a full moon almost. So what have we got here? Give your relationship a chance. It is worth working on your partnership. And then we've also got finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So it might be that they are to do with this relationship. And remember, this can be a platonic relationship even, or an intense family connection with somebody who's emotionally less available or avoidant, perhaps, emotionally avoidant. Now, it could be that somehow finances are at play when it comes to this relationship. Perhaps finances are some sort of issue, or even perhaps the stress of the relationship is affecting your abundance levels at times. There's different ways it can be interpreted, because this is a collective reading. But the overall energy is saying that this relationship is worth a chance. So let's see what fairy energy we're getting. This is kind of like a spiritual energy around this twin flame or emotionally avoidant connection. Okay, so this is interesting. We've got honesty, and we've also got the throat chakra. Now, I feel there is a sort of need for somebody to express themselves, but there's also this kind of warning, because both those cards came out in reversed. So there's a need for somebody to have honest communication and express themselves within this connection. There's something that somebody probably really wants to say, but I feel there's a warning from spirit to maybe be careful how you communicate. Really think about, is this what this person's going to want to hear? Is this really, in a way, your ego trying to control things or maneuver things? And actually, could you go into a more deeper state of surrender? Because I feel there's a warning here that if there's certain things you express, you could regret it. Okay, so let's go into it. So we're going to look at the recent past, what's been happening here for this twin flame intense connection. And this is for June, so this is the recent past. This would kind of be what's been happening very recently as we end May. Okay. Right, so a sense of trying to move on. Okay, there's been a sense of trying to move on, but it's probably been quite difficult. You've probably been carrying sort of baggage here from the relationship, and it's actually like you're not really where you used to be in this connection, but you haven't really got this connection to where you'd like it to be. You know, it's not really, this connection doesn't really look how you'd like it to look, and maybe some of you have even been trying to pull away from this connection because it's so testing, you know, and that kind of thing. But actually, probably maybe moving on from this connection, this relationship hasn't been as easy as you thought it might be. You've also got here the Four of Wands reversed, and it's really interesting. I mean, this is kind of like an unconventional relationship. When the Four of Wands is in reverse, it's indicating a unconventional relationship. It's saying that there is a level of success here in this connection. It's actually to other people's eyes, or in some way, maybe not to other people, that might be a bad example, because other people might completely slate this connection, you know, and may not understand it one bit. But in some ways, yes, this connection actually is quite successful, and yet in other ways it's quite unconventional. There may have been delays around it. There may have been someone not really wanting to commit in the normal way, or there may be somebody who, you know, or you know, say like it's a family connection, it's not really taking the shape of how you would think this kind of relationship would look, because it's maybe been under strain, but at the same time there's still a level of success there with this relationship. There is still a level of understanding, or you know, bond, something like that. So what's going on? Justice card in the upright. Okay, so what's happening is both parties are really looking at getting their justice. Both parties are really in June going to be looking at, you know, am I getting what I deserve out of this connection? And also with this connection, am I really getting treated how I deserve, and am I getting what I need? Am I getting my needs met? And there is a sense of both parties just wanting to be true to themselves and more realistic, I suppose, about you know, being more honest and open about what each other needs, you know, and perhaps more understanding will come of each other's needs and how to respect each other's needs within this connection, because the Justice card does tend to indicate things going in your favour and things going quite well, and people being able to see both sides of an argument, or, you know, different perspectives. Like there's more of an understanding of the differing perspectives here. So there is a chance here that actually, you know, there's a sense of maybe things improving, you know. And we've also got the Chariot reversed. It's almost like in order for this connection to go forward, there definitely is some issues that need addressing for both people, and then, you know, it's going to be easier for this connection to kind of continue. Also, emotions could be a bit upset while things are kind of dealt with, if you like, because it's like the Justice card is kind of like doing a deal, isn't it? It's getting more of a healthy balance, and that could be a bit triggering and a bit testing while that process is going on. Now, the person you think about has the Ace of Cups. I mean, what you are looking at here is a long-term connection with somebody, and weirdly, I mean, it could even take the form of a friendship, even if you're actually lovers, or you're actually family members. You know, that this could actually take the form of you know, a friendship, if you like, in some way. So, but it is also indicating something long term, and it's also indicating maybe like a new beginning. It's like this person is revealing something to you this month with the Moon card reversed and the Ace of Cups. It's like they're revealing that actually they do want to continue with you, but I feel it could be slightly changed and slightly different how this connection moves forward, right? Now what we've got here, Ten of Wands reversed, you know, it's a little bit worrying, because with the Ten of Wands reversed, it's almost like this person doesn't fully step up to the plate with you, really. They don't really support you as much as they could, you know. It's almost like they've sort of made a decision, you know, preempted decision with the World card reversed and the Ten of Wands reversed, that, you know, they don't really want to, I don't think at all that they've moved on from you. They're definitely trying to understand you more, or try to figure out how can we make this connection work. And they definitely see you in a friendship type of way, which is healthy. They see you as a long-term connection, and they do see this as kind of like a new beginning in June. But at the same time, there's a sense of them, you know, not really being ready to fully step up, right? Whatever that may mean for you in terms of this relationship. So now, how do they feel? This person has got the Nine of Cups. This person does feel a lot happier in June. They're going to feel like they've kind of got everything, really. They feel like they've still got their connection with you. They feel they're kind of getting a better balance out of things. They feel like they've got kind of all their bases covered, if you like. Whatever that may mean, that, you know, they feel like they've got kind of all the resources to hand and all the people they need, and they're quite happy with what they've got, but, you know, I don't know if they're making such a wise decision, because they've got here the High Priestess card in reversed. So there's something here about them being a bit blocked off from their own needs in a way. So there might be some kind of needs that they're not really looking into. Perhaps in terms of their deeper emotions, they could be blocked off from those. Also, they could be making decisions perhaps in June that aren't very wise. So there's a certain amount, I don't mean to sound nasty, but there is a certain amount of, oh, by the way, you can see the dog just there. You might have noticed, little Gilbert. And yeah, the thing that I'm picking up on here is that they might almost be a bit smug, because there's something to do. Some people do say with the Nine of Cups, it's a yes card from the tarot. It's somebody who has it all, but it can be slightly smug, this card. And, you know, that almost looks like the Empress sitting at the table, doesn't it? Is this person going to get a little bit too, where there's a kind of sense of, right, let's have a fresh start in June. Let's try to kind of make sure all of our needs are kind of thought about here. But at the same time, this person's almost a little bit arrogant here, and maybe making some choices that might not be so wise. They might make some choices in June that they sort of regret a little bit, or aren't very wise. Now, how do they want to move forward? They've got the Fool card reversed. So, you know, again, that's quite an unwise energy. I think this person you're connected to could make some decisions in June, like I said, that are a bit risky, or a bit, yeah, they've got the Judgment card in reversed. Wow. Fool card in reversed and the Judgment in reversed. I feel this person could be Three of Wands here. Now, that's not such a good card either. That's indicating somebody who, again, doesn't really support you enough. So it's quite strange energy, really. Perhaps there's like a conversation that's going to happen, information getting shared about the fact that you really like each other, or that you are sort of doing things for each other, or you care about each other, you know, or just this person kind of trying to make it obvious that they do care about you, but then, you know, and that they're trying to put in a fresh start. But then as the month is sort of progressing, the same things are starting to happen, that they're making some unwise decisions. They're going into that. This person's definitely going into their ego. They could be making some unwise choices, and then they sort of, you know, with the Judgment card reversed, the Fool reversed, High Priestess reversed, I definitely feel this person could make some choices in June that aren't so great, that they're taking a bit of a risk, or they're being a bit arrogant, and they could regret it a bit, and it's because they still don't really want to step up here to support you. You know, because that 10 of Wands reversed and the 3 of Wands reversed, that both means the same thing. That is somebody who doesn't really step up. Now, let's see what else we're getting. And remember, again, this is not for everybody. So you might only be able to take some of these messages, and it's not necessarily going to be for you. I just want to say that to you, but I just have to give the cards that I'm getting here. Now, what's hidden that you don't see? There may have been a period of stagnation, a period where you've been kind of waiting. What we're being shown here by the tarot is that period of waiting is going to stop, and things are going to start picking up. There's going to be more activity in June, so you might see this person more. I do feel like that with and some of you might not even want to see this person more. I don't know, but I know some of you really, really will want to see this person more, and it does look like that will happen because of the fact that you've got the kind of, you know, the Justice card, the Ace of Cups, the 9 of Cups, and now the 4 of Swords reversed. You know, it just looks like there could definitely be more interactions, communications, or connection with this person. And remember the first card as well about it's worth giving this relationship a chance, and I think that's what this other person wants to do. I think they definitely go into June wanting to give your relationship a chance, your connection a chance, and I think you do as well. But you know, now we're getting the Justice card reversed here, which isn't really such a good sign. So as activities pick up, somebody could be a bit unwise about some of the actions they take. Like there's already cards indicating that your person, I feel it's more likely to be your person because it's about how they feel and how they want to move forward. They could be making decisions that are a bit selfish, or a bit risky, or just not very wise. Again, with the Justice card reverse, things are picking up, more activity going on, and some things that aren't going to be very fair on you, I feel. Now, the advice from Spirit, you've got here the Magician card reverse. So, you know, it's like, I want to say to you, this is sort of destiny. You cannot really intervene. That's what I was trying to think of a word that I was looking for, but you can't really intervene with this process that's going to happen in June. Okay, I feel this person's got to go through a series of situations in June where you know, they're going to perhaps make some unwise decisions and not really, even though they've revealed their feelings to you and they're trying to make a more balance and a fresh start, there's still quite a bit of resistance here, and this person not really fully supporting you and giving you what you need. They're still being quite selfish here, quite arrogant, and you know, what I'm seeing here is Spirit is basically advising you with the Magician card reversed, you can't really sort of put pressure on this person. It would be much wiser for you to take the pressure off. And even though in June you could be witnessing some things in this person that you don't really like, it would be much more wise to keep your mouth firmly shut, silent. Now, why is that? Because Spirit is the doer. Allow Spirit to guide this person through a series of you know, situations, interactions, or whatever's going to happen, for them to figure out themselves the things that are not very wise. Hang on a minute, I'm going to have to call my daughter. Lacey, that's too loud, lovely. I can't concentrate. Thank you. Sorry, it's just in my ear. I can't really. So yeah, I feel Spirit is, because the Magician card is when you take action, and it's like everything you touch turns to magic. So you can, in a way, yes, you can manipulate things or manifest things. When because the Magician card is a card of action. It's a card of doing. It's a masculine energy card. It's in reverse. So Spirit is sort of saying it would actually be more wise to be very quiet and silent through June. And I know I say that a lot because that's part of consciousness, is a lot is to do with silence, and it's about honouring Spirit, trusting that everything's predestined, and allowing Spirit to kind of do the work and let things unfold as per the divine plan, as how they should unfold. So what you're being advised of here is, if you're seeing some unwise choices, which I think you could see in this person, if you're seeing some unwise behaviours, even arrogant type of behaviours, even them being quite selfish and not really supporting you as they should, or stepping up to certain responsibilities as they should, it would be better for you not to intervene, for you not to really try to speak to them about it. And isn't that interesting? Because the first two cards, honesty and the throat chakra card, were both in reverse, and I said that you may be compelled to say your truth and say something, but it would be better if you don't. Yeah, you've got the Empress. Now, isn't that interesting? Now, the Empress card is the mother of the tarot, as you know. Now, you don't have to be a feminine. You could be any gender here, but it's a nurturing energy. It's like, now, the Empress is very wise because she's lived life, okay? She's very wise. She knows her value. She knows her worth. And she can sit back and she can just allow life to unfold, and she's very wise. She doesn't lose her cool. She doesn't kind of scream and shout or stamp her feet. She doesn't get needy. She actually has a real deep connection with the High Priestess, and so basically she's able to you know, allow things to unfold, and she's very grounded and very wise, and doesn't get reactive. You know, she's not immature, is she? She's not reactive. So Spirit is really saying here, you know, in June, if you see your person doing some things that are not wise, not good, it's a better approach to take to stay quite silent, but just as the conscious eyes and ears, observing your person, what they're doing, and allow them to kind of play that out, and try to reserve your judgments and opinions, but you know, you can have that conscious presence, and they will sense that if you sort of, maybe, you know, you might choose to pull back slightly, or you might choose to just kind of, you know, not really make any judgments or comments, but they're going to be aware that you're watching, you know, and it's kind of, you're watching from a much more mature, conscious energy, you know, and that's what Spirit is advising you to do in June. And now the outcome card is a bit of a worry. We've got here the Two of Cups reversed. Now, for some of you, it could be oh, that's interesting. Now, I don't even know why I pulled that deck. I'm going to show you the cards. That was really random because I just picked up the wrong deck, and boom, a card came out that's quite interesting. Okay, Five of Swords reversed. So, no, Five of Swords in the upright. So, now, what this means here is going to mean different things for different people. For some of you, you could just feel that June is a month of still not really getting exactly what you want out of this connection, and still feeling like, you know, you're owed an apology, or you're owed more attention or recognition, but at the same time you've got the Five of Swords, which is, you're definitely standing more in your power in June. You're definitely taking your power back, but then at the same time, Spirit is encouraging you to think about, what are you really going to achieve at the end of all this? You know, is this really going to be a connection that you really want? Is it really worth fighting for? I mean, the first card does say give the relationship a chance. And I feel like you're both going to go into June feeling like that. But as the month wears on, you are going to be having a higher and higher level consciousness perspective on it. And rather than being reactive and argumentative with this person, you're just going to be collating information, collating evidence, and noticing things that perhaps aren't very fair, perhaps where your person's being rather immature or egoic, perhaps where they're being rather risky and arrogant, you know, and you could be kind of feeling by the end of the month like, well, I'm still kind of waiting for this person to step forward the way that I want. But you're definitely in a more powerful position, because I think the fact that you're able to hold your own more in June and you're not being reactive to this person in the slightest. You're much more grounded in June. You're much more well put together as a person, if you like, within your own beingness, you know, within your own consciousness. So your energy is more powerful in June. So I would say to you that they're really still quite attracted to you, or wanting to, maybe if it's as a platonic or family relationship, this person by the end of June is still really interested in keeping this connection going. And they're still probably, even though they might take some twists and turns through June and be a bit risky or not really step up in the way they should, they really, by the end of June, they're still kind of thinking, well, you know, I don't want to mess it up with you, you know. And you've got here the card, I'm not stable right now, let me fix this. So I think this person is basically feeling like, you know, I haven't done a great job through June. It's not been the best. They're going to start to realise, I haven't actually treated this person in my life as well as I should have done. So I think they're going to start waking up a bit more. And this is why it's important to step back in June and just observe them more and not be reactive, as hard as that may be at times. It will stand you in such good stead, because they're going to start to notice themselves as the month wears on that really they're probably not always behaving in the right ways towards you. I think really they're going to have a bit more respect for you as well by the end of the month. That's what I'm feeling. More respect for you, and also starting to realise their own errors, which is interesting. So it could be the beginning of their awakening really in June. Your spirit guides are talking about letting go, and I think that's really key. It is really about letting go of the control, of the need to intervene and to constantly be telling this person, well, you're not doing that right, you're not doing this right, or I don't agree with you on that, I don't agree with you on this. You know, it really is, June, about stepping back, observing what they're doing, and just learning how to be very grounded in yourself, and non-reactive, and not trying to manipulate the relationship at all. Let this person kind of trip themselves up where they do, let them make their own mistakes, you know. And maybe it's not even mistakes or tripping up, maybe this person actually just genuinely needs to experience a few things, because don't forget, you know, we have all got our own divine plan, and we have all got our own divine path, and we're all discovering ourselves all of the time, aren't we? We're all learning all of the time. And you know, so we don't always have to be so judgmental and condescending of others, do we? So, you know, maybe this person genuinely has got to experience a few things and make a few more mistakes, and, you know, to start really learning about, well, what is it I really want, and how should I really be behaving, you know? I feel like your person is basically going to do quite a lot of learning in June, and you don't really have to hammer it home to them, because I think life is going to start showing them certain things, and they're going to start learning from those things in June. So you can just be more of an observer, and spirit is just saying, you know, let go, trust in spirit. Spirit's got this in hand, you know, spirit's got this in hand. Whatever, don't forget, spirit knows what you need to learn, but spirit also knows what your person needs to learn. So spirit's going to bring your person all of the experiences they need to drop down their ego, because ultimately that's why we're all here, to learn to be the true spiritual beings we are, and to have our egos knocked down to size. You know, and obviously I know the people that watch this channel, our egos have been sort of bruised and battered, you know, a lot, and we've come down in our ego considerably, and I think we've done a really bloody good job of that the last like 2-3 years, you know, learning to have less ego, to be more humble, surrender more, you know, be more patient and things like that. And you know, so we've done a good job on that, and I think this person we're connected to is starting to maybe go through some of these processes. So hang in there through June, I would say. I think it's a really interesting relationship. Well, it's a twin flame, intense relationship reading, somebody who struggles with their emotions and tends to be quite emotionally unavailable. And basically, you know, yeah, they're going to start off the month saying the right things, wanting to sort of be there, but then as the month wears on, they're going to have a few hiccups. Let them go through it, you know, and then you're going to come out the other side. All right, you might still not have exactly what you want by the end of the month, but just trust your person's learning some things they need to learn here, and that's all part of, you know, their divine plan and part of probably your divine plan as well, you know. And there's going to be some sort of recognition on their part by the end of the month if you can just show, you know, well, the Empress energy, basically the mature conscious energy. They will have more respect for you, I think, by the end of June, from what I can tell. So it's a very interesting reading. I quite enjoyed that one. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of peace wherever you are on Gaia. And if you'd like to book in for a reading, I am here. And thanks for subscribing. And I can see a rainbow as I'm looking across the sky, so that's quite amazing as well. One love and peace.